Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. And Jake in Mundelein said he's been waiting for this Heat review, the movie Heat. Case will be doing that. Thanks for everybody in Mundelein, as well as Jake, who are all here for it. So let's get to Friday's movie review with Case. Whoops, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong sound. That's the music news thing. Oh, crap. Here we go.
For Christ's sake, tomorrow's the 4th of July, and we will be open for business.
What country you from? What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
Utah. Give me 2.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.
Wax on, right hand. Wax off, left hand.
Now fry like bacon, you little freshman piggies. Fry! Fry!
Playing football in West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life.
Heat, the trilogy of bank-robbing greatest movies of all time. And Case has seen Point Break, he has seen The Town, and now Heat, the Jeremy Piven vehicle, where he's in for 42 seconds, taking his shirt off and looking very buff. Also starring Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer. And a lot of people wanted to do this when Val Kilmer passed. A lot of people were really saying you should do Heat because Val Kilmer, again, not the lead, but in it enough to make a powerful statement. So this movie on Rotten Tomatoes, Heat holds an approval rating of 84% based on 152 reviews and an average of 7.8 out of 10. Rolling Stone ranked Heat 28 on its list of the 100 greatest movies of the 90s. Its budget was $60 million. Box office was $187 million. And it was released December 15th, 95, so 30th anniversary this year of this incredible movie. Now, at this time on Monday, Jeremy Piven, who's playing the Vic next Friday, will stop by in studio. We had him on the phone. He's going to stop by, hang out with us. And that's how Case worked into doing this movie today. A Jeremy Piven vehicle. Jeremy Piven, no one would say Heat is a Jeremy Piven movie except for Case.
Well, I looked at his IMDb. I saw Heat listed. We had been looking for a reason to watch Heat. I said it's a Jeremy Piven movie. Let's do it.
Well, we'll get into it with the trailer as we start first, and you can explain your Jeremy Piven angle later.
The cop.
Full surveillance, round the clock.
The criminal.
Assume they got our phones, assume they got our houses, assume they got us.
The obsession.
The bank is worth the risk.
The confrontation.
Give me all you got!
On December 15th, Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Val Kilmer, a Michael Mann film. Heat, rated R. Starts Friday, December 15th at a theater near you.
It's a very vibey, moody movie. I don't like that trailer. It didn't sell it well. Because the movie is incredible. They should have done the bank robbery scene with the machine guns going off, echoing off the buildings.
Well, that's the movie, not the trailer.
I know, but it doesn't. That trailer doesn't sound like this movie's intense.
Right, it's kind of a chill trailer.
Yeah.
Relaxed.
I don't know. I'm not going to start judging everything here, but I kind of started off by judging.
Yeah, that's exactly what you did.
But I'm not judging the movie. Just the trailer, I think, was poorly done. Good voiceover, but I don't know. Anyway, Case, what did you think of Heat? As we said, the trilogy of bank robbing movies: Point Break, The Town, and then Heat.
De Niro, Pacino, Kilmer, Sizemore, Henry Rollins. Nobody told me Henry Rollins was in this movie.
How about it?
Natalie Portman, Hank Azaria, and of course, our man, Jeremy Piven.
Yes.
What a performance by Dr. Bob. That is his character's name. I had to Google as I was watching this movie. I go, did Jeremy Piven go to med school and I didn't know it? What a doctor he plays. I mean, this is like Clooney in his prime on ER. He absolutely kills it. Heat, very much a Jeremy Piven movie, as much as it is De Niro and Pacino.
He's in it for 42 seconds, and he takes his shirt off to give it to Robert De Niro, who wants to give it to Val Kilmer. No spoiler, but just got shot, needed a new shirt because there was blood on it.
And Jeremy Piven goes, but my daughter, she gave me this for Father's Day.
It really is that one emotional line, because you can see the monogram on the cuff of the shirt from his daughter. He goes, my daughter gave me this shirt, kind of. Yeah, take off the damn shirt.
It's electric. He goes toe for toe with De Niro.
Even in just 10 seconds, Jeremy Piven owns it. I wouldn't say he steals the movie, but certainly steals the scene in a great way that, it was very captivating that Jeremy Piven, they could have got, Doctor Number 4 in the casting, but they took Jeremy Piven.
They got Jeremy Piven, Dr. Bob. Look, what a phenomenal film this is. I was chomping at the bit to find a reason to watch this. I was unfamiliar with this film until we did Point Break last year, and then like Brian said, we watched The Town, and I went, oh man, I really like heist movies, and everybody started telling me about Heat. And so I've been waiting to watch this. I've been putting it off. It's on Netflix right now. I saw it was on Netflix. I waited until we found a reason to watch this for the show. and it absolutely lived up to the hype.
You liked it.
2 hours and 50 minutes of a non-stop thrill ride. Never drags. It's never slow. I love all the characters, and there are so many characters in this movie. The great thing about this is, yes, it's a heist movie, and yes, it's an action movie, but this is a slice of life movie. These are real humans that have real problems, and they just happen to be elite-level criminals and elite-level police officers. But there's a human element to this movie that is absolutely stunning.
You might say it's a little like Sopranos, because you see evil people, but you see them as human, and you get sympathy for them, and even though they're evil murderers.
You know what? I'm very glad you said that. It's very weird in the heist scene when they do the big bank robbery, which I have a note on in just a second, but they do this big bank robbery, guns, money, shootout, whole thing. Tom Sizemore grabs a kid and uses them as a human shield. And I had a weird reaction watching it because I'm so sucked in on the villains in this movie. De Niro's so good, Kilmer's so good, Sizemore's so good, that when he grabs a child and uses them as a human shield in a police shootout, my first thought was, oh, that's good. Good strategy. Good. He's going to get away, isn't he? And then he doesn't get away. Spoiler there. He does, die.
Oh, my God. What happened to the kid?
No, the kid is okay. The kid is okay. But what a brilliant move by a criminal.
I don't know if you remember, Kenzie, in the movie, Sizemore's holding the kid, and Robert De Niro, or Al Pacino, who's the cop, has a machine gun. And he chooses to take out Sizemore holding a kid with a... listen, I'm not a gun guy, so people are going, I don't want the gun guys calling him saying, what was a sniper rifle? Yeah. I don't know what it was.
It was a semi-automatic.
It looked like a machine gun and still got him in the forehead, and then the kid just falls to the ground with him, and he picks up the kid lived and walked away. Now, Kenzie, would you use a kid as a human shield?
No. Well, whose kid?
I knew there was going to be a follow-up on that one.
Obviously directed by Michael Mann. What I learned last night doing research after I watched this was he had written this script in the 70s, and he had been toying with it for a long time. He pitched it to NBC as a TV show in the 80s. NBC turned it into a TV movie in 89, and then finally in the mid-90s, he got this script made. Al Pacino is not an actor that I had really any relationship with. The only thing I had ever seen him in was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is the most recent Quentin Tarantino film that I watched over Christmas break. But Pacino, in the original script, had a crippling cocaine addiction, which would make sense given every single line of dialogue that he has. Although the cocaine doesn't make it into the final script, he is unhinged in the best way possible.
She's got a great ass! If you ever heard that drop anywhere, we played it before. She's got a great ass. That's where it comes from in that movie. She's got a great ass.
My favorite is when he's talking to, I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife, but he's in a relationship with this woman. I love when Jon Voight and Robert De Niro are on the phone, and Voight's describing to De Niro what Al Pacino's character is like, and Voight's like, he's been divorced 3 times. You think this is a guy that likes to stay at home? Which is a great description of a full-on crazy person. And as his wife is trying to get him to open up, he says this to his wife, which I say, doing morning radio, this is how I also describe my life, the same thing that Al Pacino, homicide detective, says as well.
When we hooked up, baby, that you were going to have to share me with all the bad people and all the ugly events on this planet.
And I bought into that sharing because I love you. I love you fat, bald, money, no money, driving a bus. I don't care. But you have got to be present like a normal guy some of the time. That's sharing. This is not sharing. This is leftovers.
I see. What I should do is come home and say, hi, honey, guess what? I walked into this house today where this junkie ass just fried his baby in a microwave because it was crying too loud. So let me share that with you. Come on, let's share that. And in sharing it, we'll somehow cathartically dispel all that heinous shit, right? Wrong. You know why?
Because you prefer the normal routine. We then you lose the power of speech.
Because I got to hold on to my angst. I preserve it because I need it. It keeps me sharp, on the edge, where I got to be.
Kenzie, do you see how excited Case is on that line? I need to hold on to my angst.
I got to hold on to my angst. Oh.
Just a bunch of spazzes.
Did you see Kenzie's face, by the way, when the line says, like, what am I supposed to do? Come home and say this junkie put his baby in the microwave.
What the hell? I'd be like, get out of my house. I never want to see you again. Don't say that to me.
Like, he could have. That was a moment where the wife was pouring out, I want to share with you. I'll take you anyway. And instead of saying something like, that's very sweet, he goes, no, I need all this. What do you want me to do? He comes back and actually wins the argument.
That's why this is so great, because you see how dedicated he has to be to his craft, and he can't juggle this. The man's been divorced 3 times. What do you think he likes to do? Stay at home?
That is such a good line. You think he likes to stay home? It's brutal.
I have one major complaint with this movie, and again, I loved it. Phenomenal. One of the best movies I think I've ever seen. Certainly one of the best movies I've ever seen for this show. There's the whole big bank robbery, right? You know, they've got the guns, they've got the masks, they hold people up. They've got a getaway car. Very important part of any bank robbery is the getaway car and getting out of the building safely. So they're all piling into the car. The police are setting up a blockade. You've got Al Pacino on their tail. Robert De Niro gets in the car. They're one man short. Val Kilmer has got to get in this car. Val Kilmer could not have walked slower to get in the car.
But wasn't he shot at that point?
No, he gets shot during the shootout. No one's shooting yet, and he's shuffling his feet like a mopey teenager. He's got $1 million in the bag. Maybe jog a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I didn't want to come across suspicious.
I knew somebody was going to say that, but a brisk jog would not have hurt. You got to get in the car to get away. It would have been annoying if he was walking that slow on the sidewalk had he not robbed a bank. I would have killed him if he was on my team.
I think they could have made him look more casual. I think he should have been holding like a Starbies.
It is funny. It is funny that scene when they're walking out with all the bags of cash, and even Tom Sizemore fixes his hair puts sunglasses on, like you're carrying this bag and before the shooting starts. Also note, by the way, we talked about all the stars in this movie. Dennis Haysbert is the getaway driver who they recruit at the diner.
Yeah.
And he gets, it's not a good ending for him.
No, it's a tough one for him. He was cooking eggs an hour before the bank robbery. Then he ends up dead behind the wheel.
Yeah, very sad ending for him. And he only is in the movie for a second. He's the Allstate guy. Put your good hands on Allstate. But he was
That's the Allstate guy?
That's him. That's the voiceover. But he also was in Major League. He was Jobu in Major League.
I'm familiar.
If you don't give me home run, Jobu say F you. And then he was also, I think, he was in a lot of stuff. 24. He was the president in the TV show 24.
Wow.
And he was in that movie for about 30 seconds like Jeremy Piven.
Heat, just a phenomenal movie. I really can't say enough good things about it. Like I said, it's on Netflix. I think before we go, do we have time? Can we listen to the diner scene between De Niro and Pacino? 2 heavyweights going at it. Just absolutely phenomenal stuff.
And you say this was all improv. There was no script.
Not improv, but what they did was they did not rehearse this scene ahead of time. There was a script written between these two, but they purposely chose to not go over it before the cameras were rolling. They had 3 cameras, 1 on each guy, and then a wide shot, and they only did about 11 takes, and this is the magic they got on camera.
You know, we're sitting here, you and I, like a couple of regular fellas. You do what you do, I do what I gotta do. And now that we've been face to face, if I'm there and I gotta put you away, I won't like it. But I'll tell you, if it's between you and some poor bastard whose wife you're gonna turn into a widow, brother, you are going down.
There's a flip side to that coin. What if you do got me boxed in? Then I gotta put you down. 'Cause no matter what, you will not get in my way. We've been face to face, yeah. But I will not hesitate. Not for a second.
Oof. Wow. Such a great movie, Heat.
Chills.
An amazing movie.
They were both slow talkers, though, huh?
The movie's almost 3 hours long, Kenzie. I don't know. I remember you said
no
you
wonder
saw
they
it.
were like, no rehearsal.
Yeah. But that's what made it great. This is not a, hour and 20 minute,
But I think it was just
movie.
because they were both in it. So, like, for both of them to get their lines out.
Yeah.
It could have been a short film, then it would have been a long film still. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, Case, what are you gonna rate this as? Out of what? Machine guns? What are you?
We'll rate it out of machine guns. We'll rate it out of Jeremy Piven's. We'll do out of he's starring. We're gonna do it out of Jeremy Piven's.
Okay.
Look, this is gonna be on the Mount Rushmore of movies that I've seen. It's gonna knock T2 off of the Mount Rushmore. We like doing top 4s here. Pulp Fiction, Shawshank, Jaws. And we can bump T2 out of the way for Heat.
Wow.
This is a 9 out of 10. If for some reason you've never seen this, it's on Netflix. Watch it this weekend. If you haven't seen it in a long time, celebrate its 30th anniversary. Celebrate Jeremy Piven being in studio on Monday. Give it a watch this weekend.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.